Let's be real. Your inner critic isn't even the problem. The fact that you believe her is the issue. Welcome to or back to my channel, Self-Love Lexi. We all have thoughts in our head, and scientifically, 80% of those thoughts are negative. Again, for a normal person, 95% of our thoughts are repeated day after day. So imagine all of the negative thoughts that you have being on constant loop. It's going to tear you down, especially if it is negative. This is why so many people turn to affirmation and journaling and even these little boards up here. But if you're in a perpetual state of the harsh inner critic, that isn't going to help. It is not going to help. If you have deep-seated wounds of I'm worthless, I'm unworthy, I hate myself, these positive affirmations are literally doing nothing for you because it's staying. It's like a band-aid on top of the wound, okay? It isn't doing anything. It's going to temporarily feed you. It's going to temporarily feel good. But imagine, it's like this, okay? Imagine that you were broke and you kept repeating to yourself, I'm a millionaire. I'm a millionaire. It will feel good for a second, but all of a sudden reality will snap you out of it. That's the same thing with positive affirmations like, oh, I love myself. I love myself. But if you have deep-seated wounds of feeling triggered when somebody's abandoning you or being unseen and unloved, all of these things, these positive affirmations are going to feel good temporarily. What you need is an actual solution at the root, okay? The root solution. I had a really, really hard time accepting and loving myself because of what I was saying to myself on a daily basis. I would call myself fat, ugly, slow, stupid, loser, all of these things, and I truly believed them. And I remember trying these affirmations, trying to journal, trying all these boards that were supposed to get me from point A to point B, from point A being like the super harsh inner critic that was literally ruining my life, to being super happy. And it just wasn't working. And I was so upset and frustrated because all of these gurus, like self-love people, mindset coaches, they're telling me, affirmations, do more affirmations. Girl, I don't believe it to my core. So how is saying it gonna do anything? And you have the mantra that people use, fake it till you make it. Personally, I don't believe that works. I believe that if you say something enough times repeatedly, you might start to align yourself with a certain action. But even then, you're having to do the deep-seated work to arrive at your actual destination. This is why I talk about the subconscious mind, because the subconscious mind is at play for pretty much every single belief that you have. Okay, so we are programmed from age 0 to 7. That does not mean we're stopped programming. It doesn't mean that like during an intense emotional experience when you're 35 can't do anything to you. It will. That's why we have neuroplasticity, because you can be 66 and decide that you want to change your life and change your beliefs and change your thoughts, and you can. So cool. That's why I love this stuff, because I have literally rewired my whole life, my whole mindset, my whole perspective, and that's the reason why I do what I do. And not only that, I've watched and I've helped people rewire their goals, rewire their mindset, rewire their life for success, opportunities, friends, money, abundance, just literally living life in such a grateful manner. I wake up every day and I'm so excited to be alive. There was a point in my life where I would wake up, and this is a little sad to say, but I would wake up wishing that I didn't. And I'm not just saying that to say that. I truly mean it. I would wake up wishing that I just was not here. So, yeah. This is how to rewire that, okay? I have some notes here. So, your inner critic, I want you to be aware of this. What is your inner critic in the first place? Your inner critic is the voice in your head that tells you things like, oh, you're stupid, you're slow, they don't like you anyways, you shouldn't say that, you're gonna fail. All of these things, basically steering you the wrong way. It's like a bully inside of your own head. And what's interesting about that, a lot of us think like, oh, I bully myself, I really hate myself, and a lot of the times, it's not even our own voice. Think of the voice that you have, the inner critic, and think of how your parents used to talk to you. You might see the connection. If not, It could be a caretaker, it could have been a best friend, it could have been anybody, because a lot of the times our thoughts are not even our own thoughts. They're thoughts from other people. Same with opinions. A lot of the times we gather opinions and like take what resonates, take the opinions that resonate with us from social media. A lot of the times our opinions are not originated through our own thoughts, our own experiences. So this is how to actually stop believing your inner critic. First step is being aware of the inner critic. And like I was mentioning before, your inner critic is kind of like your internal bully. So whenever you do something and that internal bully comes up, I want you to be aware of it. Now, I don't want you to bully the bully back, because what does that do? I used to do that at first. That's why I'm saying this. I used to think negatively about myself, and I'd be like, for example, if I shoot, I'm going to fail and everyone's going to laugh. And I'd be like, you idiot, like, why do you care what people think? That didn't help, obviously, because I was bullying the bully. And just like my own head was just a battlefield at times. What you want to do is give love and compassion, because again, most of the times those thoughts are not even our thoughts. They're thoughts from our childhood. So what we can do as an example, I'm going to use the same example I did previously, like just a minute ago. If I was in gym class and I was going to shoot and immediately a thought came up, don't, you're going to fail. What I would do in that moment is I would say, take a deep breath and really quickly I'd be like, I will love you either way. If you fail, who cares? If you fail, who cares? Genuinely, who cares? Like, you tried and that's amazing. You tried your best and that's incredible. And I think one thing that really helped me was talking to myself. I actually have a video on how to silence your inner critic, and that the whole subject of that video is talking to yourself as if you were talking to your inner child. And this can work day-to-day life. Like, for example, the girlies know I got my period the other day and I was in a lot of pain. And instead of like, oh, I hate my period, I was so grateful for having my period, because that means that I'm a woman. Having my period is a very clear signal that I am a woman, and I would not want it any other way. I love being a woman. And if I hated myself for that, then what kind of experience would I bring into this world? I am a woman. That's how God made me. I cannot change it. Some people will argue with that. I don't want to change it. Anywho, so I can sit here and be like, oh my God, I hate being a woman. Like, my period sucks. Or I can completely embrace what being a woman comes with. And in doing so, I can have such a better experience with myself and build a better relationship with myself. So I was literally vacuuming and my stomach was starting to hurt a lot. And I just started rubbing my stomach. And this might sound cringy, but genuinely, the more I love myself, the more I kind of speak to myself like this. I start saying, it's okay, I know you're in pain, but it's so beautiful being a woman, and we get to experience this pain because we're a woman. And I'm like talking to myself like, it's okay, it's gonna be over soon. Just how I would talk to my inner child if she was in pain. And I can't even lie to you, the pain stopped. It literally stopped. So I was just kind of mind blown for a minute, because I hadn't really done that before. But the more I love myself, the more I can see myself in situations where my old version of me would have been like, oh my God, I hate my period. Like, being a woman sucks. Why do I have to go through this? Whereas now I'm like, yay, I get to bleed once a month because it proves that I am a beautiful woman, I love that. So yeah, being aware of the inner critic and realizing where it comes from is a huge step. Again, a lot of time it is not your own thoughts. Then, like I just mentioned again, we want to put compassion instead. So anytime something comes up, say you are trying to get a promotion at work and you're in the process of doing interviews, and all of a sudden this doubtful thoughts come in like, oh, I'm just not good enough for this position, I'm not good enough for this job, they see right through me. I want you to take that moment as a moment to be able to speak to your inner child. You are worthy. You are so worthy. You are so deserving. And even if you don't get the position, I'm going to love you unconditionally anyways. It doesn't mean you failed as a person. It doesn't mean any of this. Really speaking to yourself like you love yourself. A lot of us speak to ourselves like we are our worst enemies. And in doing so, we become our worst enemies. A lot of people can't sit inside their bodies. They can't be intentional and be present with themselves because they are their worst enemies. Here, we rewire that. Speaking of inner critic, if you have a harsh inner critic that you can tell is destroying your life, I have the perfect program for you, girl. I'm a mindset coach, but in this offer, I specifically help people who are experiencing harsh inner critics. You've tried the journaling, the therapy, the affirmations, but you are your own worst inner critic. You need to get this. And I'm not even just saying this as a salesy perspective. I am so passionate on this because this has literally changed my life, okay? Sign up for Self-Love at the Root. It's a 12-week program that will change your life because I went through this myself. I can understand how having such a hard inner critic will impact your life, okay? Anyways, I forget where I was left off at this. Becoming your own best friend. A lot of times we are literally our worst inner critic, hating ourselves, but like I used to say all the time, we are born in this world alone, we're gonna die alone. Might as well make living with yourself the best thing yet. Because if you hate being with yourself, you're going to always be around people. You need to be around people, and that will lead to so many things like needing external validation. You can't be alone. If you can't be alone, you'll start to hang around people who may not be in alignment with you because you would rather hang out with bad people or people who aren't for you than being alone. It is so crucial that we actually connect with ourselves, heal our inner critics, start to speak positively over our lives, and love ourselves. Now, I know I had mentioned the subconscious mind and you're programmed from age 0 to 7, so I kind of want to put a little mini task for you, soul work, at the end of this video right now. I have a bunch of videos on the subconscious mind that you can access as well, but if you're like, damn Alexis, okay, I want to work with you, I love your channel, I love this video, I just want a little tool to take away from this, I got you. What I want you to do is, this will help your inner child as well as reprogramming your subconscious mind. What I want you to do is take out a journal and a cute pen and make this cute. One of my favorite things to do is like, I have a candle lit, I have some flowers, I have a cute journal and a cute pen because it just makes me motivated to actually do some inner work. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna title it Inner Critic, okay? And you're gonna write a letter to your inner critic. The key here is to not be rude or mean, and honestly, if I'm being so honest, in the beginning, express how you feel truly. But at the very end, I want you to understand, it is no help to being rude to the bully. Like I said, it's not helpful to bully the bully. What we want to do is actually give that inner critic love and compassion. Because think of it, if somebody is really criticizing you, do you think they're actually happy? No. If someone's bullying you, do you think they're happy? No. Not at all. The people who are just rude to us and vain have something deeper going on within themselves. And so what we want to do is actually give compassion and love to this inner critic. I hope this video helps you. If you love this video as much as I love making it, like and follow for more. Also, add any comments of things that you have thought with your inner critic that kept going on repeat. Because it is so nice to see that other people who have experienced the same thing. You know, let's build a community together where we are thriving and we are wanting to connect deeply with ourselves and love ourselves truly. Love yourself as much as I love you. Mwah.